Sarah Jones always had her head in the stars. Even as a little girl, she would spend hours looking up at the night sky, wondering what was out there. Now, at 25, she was one of the top engineers at SpaceX, working on the next big thing in space travel. One day, as Sarah was walking to work, she saw something strange in the sky. It was a bright light, moving fast. Too fast for a plane. She rubbed her eyes, thinking she was seeing things. But when she looked again, it was still there. "Did you see that?" she asked a man walking next to her. He just gave her a funny look and kept walking. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something big was about to happen. She hurried to work, her mind racing with ideas. At SpaceX, everyone was talking about the strange light. It wasn't just Sarah who had seen it. People all over the world were reporting the same thing. "What do you think it was?" asked Tom, Sarah's coworker. "I don't know," Sarah said, "but I have a feeling we're about to find out." Just then, their boss, Mr. Johnson, called everyone into the main room. He looked worried. "I've just got word from NASA," he said. "They've detected a signal from space. It's not like anything we've ever seen before." The room went quiet. Everyone was thinking the same thing. Aliens. "They want us to help figure out what it means," Mr. Johnson continued. "Sarah, I want you to lead the team." Sarah's heart raced. This was her chance to do something big, something that could change the world. For the next week, Sarah and her team worked day and night trying to decode the signal. They barely slept or ate. Nothing else mattered. On the seventh day, just when they were about to give up, Sarah noticed something. "Look!" she shouted, pointing at her computer screen. "The signal. It's not random. It's a pattern." Everyone gathered around her computer. They watched as Sarah typed furiously, inputting the pattern into their decoding software. Suddenly, words appeared on the screen. "Greetings, humans. We come in peace." The room erupted in cheers. They had done it. They had made first contact with an alien race. But their excitement was short-lived. The next message that came through made everyone's blood run cold. "Prepare for our arrival. We will land in 30 Earth days." Sarah looked at her team, then at Mr. Johnson. They all knew what this meant. They had 30 days to prepare the world for the biggest event in human history. "What do we do now?" Tom asked, his voice shaking. Sarah took a deep breath. She knew this was the moment she had been waiting for her whole life. "We do what humans do best," she said. "We adapt. We prepare. And we face whatever comes our way." As she looked around the room, Sarah saw fear in her coworkers' eyes. But she also saw something else: determination. Humans had faced countless challenges throughout history, and they had always come out on top. This would be no different. "Let's get to work," Sarah said. "We have a world to save." And with that, the team sprang into action. They had 30 days to prepare Earth for its first alien visitors. It wouldn't be easy, but Sarah knew that if anyone could do it, it was them. As she turned back to her computer, Sarah couldn't help but smile. The stars she had dreamed about as a little girl were no longer just distant lights in the sky. They were coming to her, and she was ready to meet them. The day had finally come. 30 days after the first message, the alien ships appeared in the sky. They were huge, like floating cities made of metal and light. At first, everything seemed okay. The aliens sent a message saying they wanted to meet Earth's leaders. The whole world watched as the President of the United States walked out to greet them. But then, everything went wrong. Just as the President reached out to shake hands with the alien leader, a bright beam of light shot out from the alien ship. In a blink, the President was gone, turned to dust. Panic spread across the globe. TVs everywhere showed the same terrible scene. "This is not a drill," a voice said over the emergency broadcast system. "We are under attack. Seek shelter immediately." In New York City, Sarah Jones was in her lab at SpaceX when the attack began. She had spent the last month helping to prepare for the aliens' arrival. Now, all that work seemed useless. "We need to get out of here," Tom shouted, running into the lab. "They're destroying everything." Sarah looked out the window. The sky was full of alien ships, shooting beams of light at buildings. People were running and screaming in the streets. "No," Sarah said firmly. "We can't run. We need to fight back." Tom looked at her like she was crazy. Fight back? With what? They're way more advanced than us. But Sarah had an idea. For the past month, she had been working on a secret project, a weapon that might be able to stop the aliens. "Follow me," she said, running to a hidden door in the back of the lab. Inside was a room full of strange-looking machines. In the center was something that looked like a giant ray gun. "What is this?" Tom asked, his eyes wide. "It's an EMP cannon," Sarah explained. "It sends out a pulse that can shut down electrical systems. I think it might work on the alien ships." Just then, the building shook. The aliens were getting closer. "We need to get this to the roof," Sarah said. "Help me." Together, Sarah and Tom pushed the heavy machine to the elevator. As they rode up to the roof, they could hear explosions getting louder. On the roof, they saw the full extent of the destruction. Half of New York was on fire. Alien ships were everywhere. "Okay," Sarah said, trying to stay calm. "Let's do this." She aimed the cannon at the nearest alien ship and pressed the button. A blue wave of energy shot out, hitting the ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship's lights flickered and went out. It started to fall from the sky. It worked. Tom yelled, jumping up and down. Sarah didn't waste time celebrating. She aimed at another ship and fired again, and again, and again. Soon alien ships were falling all over the city. Other buildings saw what was happening and started cheering. But the aliens noticed too. A group of ships turned towards Sarah's building. "They're coming for us," Tom said, fear in his voice. Sarah looked at the cannon. It was smoking and making strange noises. It had been fired too many times. "One more shot," she said. "We can do one more shot." As the alien ships got closer, Sarah aimed carefully. This was their last chance. She pressed the button. The cannon fired, then exploded in a shower of sparks. The energy wave hit the group of alien ships. One by one, they lost power and fell from the sky. Sarah and Tom hugged each other, laughing and crying at the same time. They had done it. They had found a way to fight back. But as they looked out at the burning city, they knew this was just the beginning. The war for Earth had only just started. 5 years had passed since the alien attack on Earth. The world had changed a lot. Humans had won the war, but at a great cost. Many cities lay in ruins. But from the ashes, a new spirit had risen. Humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. Sarah Jones, now 30, stood in front of a huge spaceship. It was called the Pioneer, and it was Earth's first real starship. Sarah had helped design it, using what they had learned from the alien technology. "Are you ready for this?" Tom asked, standing next to her. He looked nervous but excited. Sarah nodded. "We've been waiting for this moment our whole lives." They were about to start humanity's first mission to explore deep space, but they weren't alone. Other alien races, friendly ones, were also sending ships. It was the beginning of a great space race. As Sarah and Tom walked into the ship, they saw their crew, 20 of Earth's best and brightest, ready to make history. "All right, team," Sarah said, taking her place as captain. "Let's show the galaxy what humans can do." The launch was smooth. As they left Earth's atmosphere, everyone cheered. They were the first humans to travel faster than light. Their first stop was a nearby star system. As they approached, they got a message from their alien friends, the Zorbans. "Looks like we're not the only ones here," Tom said, looking at the screen. A Zorban ship was visible, heading to the same planet they were. "Then we better hurry," Sarah said with a smile. "Plot a course for that blue planet. Let's be the first to set foot on it." As they entered the planet's orbit, they saw it was beautiful. Blue oceans, green lands, and white clouds. It looked a lot like Earth. "Scanners show it's safe to land," one of the crew members said. Sarah nodded. "Take us down." The landing was perfect. As the door opened, Sarah took a deep breath. She was about to be the first human to step on an alien world. But just as she was about to step out, she saw movement. The Zorban ship had landed too, and their captain was racing towards the same spot. Without thinking, Sarah started running. The Zorban captain saw her and ran faster. It was a race to make first contact. Sarah's heart was pounding. She could hear her crew cheering her on. The Zorban was fast, but Sarah was determined. With one final push, Sarah leaped forward, her foot touching the ground a split second before the Zorban. First, Sarah yelled, laughing. The Zorban captain looked disappointed but gave a respectful nod. As the rest of the crew joined her, Sarah looked around. The planet was amazing. Strange plants and animals were everywhere. The air smelled sweet and fresh. "We did it," Tom said, putting a hand on Sarah's shoulder. "We're the first humans to explore a new world." Sarah smiled, but she knew this was just the beginning. There were countless worlds out there waiting to be discovered, and humans were now part of the race to find them. As they set up camp, Sarah couldn't help but feel proud. Humans had faced their greatest challenge and come out stronger. Now they were taking their first steps into a larger universe. That night, as Sarah looked up at the strange stars of this new world, she thought about how far they had come, from dreaming about space as a little girl to defending Earth and now exploring the galaxy. "What's next, Captain?" Tom asked, joining her. Sarah grinned. "Next, we go further. We explore more. We show the galaxy that humanity is here to stay." And with that, Sarah knew that the great space race had truly begun, and humanity was ready for the challenge. The Pioneer had been exploring space for over a year now. Sarah Jones and her crew had seen amazing things, but they had also faced many dangers. Today, they were about to face their biggest challenge yet. As they entered a new star system, alarms started blaring. "Captain," Tom shouted from his station, "we've got 3 warships coming at us fast." Sarah's heart raced. They had met these aliens before. The Draknars were known for attacking any ship that entered their space. "Shields up," Sarah ordered. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers." The Pioneers shook as the first shots hit their shields. Sarah knew they couldn't win in a fight. They had to run. "Plot a course out of here now," she yelled. But before they could escape, a bright light filled the bridge. When it faded, Sarah found herself standing in a strange room. She wasn't on the Pioneer anymore. "Welcome, human," a voice said. Sarah turned to see a tall, blue-skinned alien. It didn't look like a Draknar. "Who are you?" Sarah asked, trying to stay calm. "Where am I?" The alien smiled, or at least Sarah thought it was a smile. "I am Zorn, leader of the Azurians. You are on our ship." Sarah's mind raced. The Azurians, they were one of the most advanced races in the galaxy, but they never interfered with other species. "Why did you bring me here?" Sarah asked. Zorn's face turned serious. "Because we need your help, Sarah Jones of Earth." Sarah was surprised. "My help? With what?" Zorn waved his hand, and a hologram appeared. It showed a massive ship, bigger than anything Sarah had ever seen. "This is the World Eater," Zorn explained. "It belongs to the Kraxan Empire. They use it to destroy entire planets." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. Why would they do that? "For resources," Zorn said sadly. "They strip planets of everything valuable, leaving them dead." Sarah thought of Earth, of all the beautiful worlds she had seen. The idea of them being destroyed made her angry. "What does this have to do with me?" she asked. Zorn looked at her with his large purple eyes. "The Kraxan are coming to this sector. We need to stop them. But our technology isn't enough. We need human creativity." Sarah was confused. "Human creativity, but you're so much more advanced than us." Zorn nodded. "In some ways, yes, but humans have a unique way of thinking. You see solutions where others see only problems. That's why we've been watching you, Sarah. Your adventures, your discoveries. We believe you can help us find a way to stop the World Eater." Sarah's mind was spinning. This was huge, way bigger than exploring new planets. "What about my crew?" she asked. "The Draknars were attacking us." Zorn waved his hand again. A screen appeared, showing the Pioneer safe and sound. "We've taken care of it," Zorn said. "Your ship is safe in our bay. Your crew is fine." Sarah took a deep breath. This was a lot to take in, but she knew what she had to do. "Okay," she said. "I'll help you, but I'll need my team. We work best together." Zorn smiled again. "Of course. Together, Azurians and humans. Unlikely allies, perhaps, but I believe we will make a great team." As Sarah followed Zorn to meet her crew, she couldn't help but feel excited. This was why they had come into space. Not just to explore, but to make a difference. To help others. The Worldiator was coming, but with human creativity and Azurian technology, Sarah believed they had a chance to stop it. The greatest adventure of her life was about to begin. Sarah Jones stood nervously in front of the large, ornate doors. She was about to enter the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, the most powerful group in the known universe. After helping defeat the Worldiator, Earth had been invited to join the council. Sarah, as the captain who led the mission, was chosen to represent humanity. "Ready?" Tom asked, standing beside her. He looked as nervous as she felt. Sarah took a deep breath. "As ready as I'll ever be." The doors swung open, revealing a massive room filled with beings from 100 different worlds. Some looked almost human. Others were completely alien. All eyes turned to Sarah as she walked in. At the center of the room was a large round table. Sitting there were the leaders of the council races. Sarah recognized Zorn, the Azurian who had become her friend. He gave her an encouraging nod. "Welcome, Sarah Jones of Earth," a voice boomed. It came from a tall, silver-skinned being with 4 arms. "I am High Counselor Izal. We have been eager to meet you." Sarah bowed slightly, remembering her diplomatic training. "Thank you, High Counselor. It's an honor to be here." Zal gestured to an empty seat. "Please join us." As Sarah sat down, she couldn't help but feel a bit overwhelmed. Here she was, a girl who once just dreamed of the stars, now sitting among the most powerful beings in the galaxy. "We have called this meeting," Zal continued, "to discuss Earth's petition to join the Galactic Council." A murmur went through the room. Not everyone seemed happy about this. With all due respect, a reptilian alien spoke up. "Humans are still a young race. They've barely left their own solar system. Are they ready for this responsibility?" Sarah felt her face grow hot. She wanted to argue, but she knew she had to stay calm. Zorn came to her defense. "The humans may be young, but they have proven themselves. Without their help, we would not have defeated the Worldiator." "One victory does not prove readiness," another council member said. "We must test them." High Counselor Zal nodded. "Agreed. Sarah Jones, are you willing to undergo the trials of ascension on behalf of your species?" Sarah's heart raced. The trials of ascension were legendary. No one knew exactly what they involved, but they were said to push beings to their limits. She thought of Earth, of all the people counting on her. She couldn't let them down. "I am willing," Sarah said, her voice stronger than she felt. A approving murmur went through the room. "Very well," Zal said. "The trials will begin tomorrow. You may choose 2 companions to assist you." Sarah immediately thought of Tom and her chief engineer, Lyanna. They had been through everything together. "I choose my crewmates, Tom Chen and Lyanna Okoy," she said. Zal nodded. "So be it. Prepare yourselves, humans. The trials will test not just your strength and intelligence, but your very essence as a species." As the meeting adjourned, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and fear. She had no idea what challenges lay ahead, but she knew the fate of Earth rested on her shoulders. Zorn approached her as she was leaving. "You did well, Sarah. But be warned, the trials are not to be taken lightly. They will push you to your limits and beyond." Sarah nodded. "We'll be ready. Humans are tougher than we look." Zorn smiled. "I believe you are. That's why I supported your petition. Show them what humanity is capable of, Sarah Jones." As Sarah left the great hall with Tom, her mind was already racing, trying to prepare for what lay ahead. The greatest challenge of her life was about to begin, but she was ready. It was time to show the galaxy what humans could really do. The alarms blared throughout the Galactic Council's main station. Sarah Jones ran down the corridor, her heart pounding. She had just finished the Trials of Ascension, proving humanity's worth to join the Council. But there was no time to celebrate. A new threat had emerged, one that put the entire galaxy in danger. Sarah burst into the Council chamber. The room was in chaos, with representatives from all species talking over each other. Silence. High Counselor Sal's voice boomed. The room quieted. "Captain Jones, thank you for coming quickly. We need your help." Sarah stepped forward. "What's happening?" Zal waved his hand, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a massive black hole, but something was wrong. Strange energy patterns swirled around it. "This is the Omega Singularity," Zal explained. "It's growing at an impossible rate. If it's not stopped, it will consume the entire galaxy within a week." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. "How is this possible?" An alien scientist stepped forward. "We believe it's artificial. Someone or something is feeding it energy, making it grow." The room erupted in panic again. Sarah's mind raced. This was bigger than anything they had faced before. "What can we do?" she asked. Zal looked grave. "Our scientists have been working nonstop, but we found no solution. That's why we've called you, Sarah. Humans have a unique way of thinking. We need your creativity now more than ever." Sarah stared at the hologram, her mind working overtime. Then she had an idea. It was crazy, but it might just work. "What if we reverse the polarity?" she said. The room went quiet. The alien scientist looked at her in confusion. "Reverse the polarity of a black hole. That's impossible." "Is it?" Sarah asked. "We know it's artificial. That means someone built it. And if it was built, it can be unbuilt." She stepped up to the hologram, pointing at the energy patterns. "Look here. These patterns are like code. If we can decrypt it, we might be able to reverse it." The scientist's eyes widened. That's brilliant, but the computing power needed to decrypt that in time. It's beyond anything we have." Sarah smiled. "Maybe not. What if we linked every computer in the galaxy? Create one massive, galaxy-wide supercomputer." The council members looked at each other in amazement. It was an audacious plan, but it just might work. Zal nodded. "It's our only hope. Captain Jones, can you lead this mission?" Sarah stood tall. "I'll need my crew and every resource you can spare." "You'll have it," Zal said. "The fate of the galaxy is in your hands." As Sarah left to prepare, Zorn, her Azurian friend, approached her. "That was impressive, Sarah, but can you really pull this off?" Sarah took a deep breath. "I have to. We all have to. This isn't just about humanity anymore. It's about all of us, every species in the galaxy." Zorn nodded. "You're right, and that's why I believe you'll succeed. You humans, you never give up." As Sarah boarded her ship, the Pioneer, she felt the weight of the galaxy on her shoulders. But she also felt something else, hope, because she knew she wasn't alone. Every being in the galaxy was counting on them, and every computer was about to become part of the solution. As the Pioneer lifted off, Sarah looked at her crew. Tom, Liana, and all the others looked back at her with determination in their eyes. "All right, team," Sarah said. "We've got a galaxy to save. Let's show them what humanity's true potential really is." And with that, the Pioneer shot into space, ready to face the greatest challenge the galaxy had ever known. The race to save everything had begun.